expressed within the bounds of my race or ethnic identity. Arthur Ashe.
Never forget what you are, for surely the world will not. Make it your strength, then it can never be your weakness. Armor yourself in it, and it will never be used to hurt you. George R. Martin.
You can't fit a square peg in a round hole. Unknown. The reward for conformity is that everybody likes you except yourself. Rita Mae Brown.
Good morning. My name is Eda Chen, and I'm a sixth form day student from Simsbury, Connecticut. I was once told by my Aunt Gwen to stop growing up so fast, and I questioned, why? I yearned to be independent, to develop my own thoughts. Isn't that what people do? My mom wants to keep me young forever. I look like a middle schooler in this pink polka dotted outfit she insists I wear. Like, dude, I'm going to college next year. Let me look my age. The other day, my uncle scolded me for not using the traditional title to address him. Like what? Why is just calling him Danny and not Uncle Danny so bad? He isn't even my real uncle. My dad patiently, but passionately, explains that respect is a critical aspect of our culture. Our culture? You mean your culture. I never asked to be raised within two conflicting cultures. Cultures that belong on opposite sides of the world. My Chinese half gives me a set of beliefs and expectations to follow. Then my American half contradicts them completely. So which side was I supposed to listen to? The one followed at home? Or the one society follows every day I'm outside the boundaries of my home and my family? I had always hoped my internal conflict would solve like a matrix equation and merge my worlds. You know the math problem you learned in Algebra 2, where two sets of numbers are combined into one? Okay, I get it, I'm sounding like a nerd, but could the answer to my internal problem, my internal struggle, not be as simple as one problem set solving my life problem set? In the last few weeks, I have found myself looking back upon the past, on who I was, my identity. Since I should probably figure that out before I send in my college apps. Anyways, I was born here in the United States of America. I am technically American. And when I'm asked to fill out the form with the "what nationality are you" question, I naturally write American. Everything on paper makes me American. I'm an American citizen. I have the passport to prove it. I live in America. I swore my allegiance to America every morning during the Pledge of Allegiance in public school. Everything makes me American, on the surface, except how I look, except my race, Asian. This one little word brews an internal conflict to which I see no end. And sometimes, I just wonder if a mere 4 extra letters were added to the word Asian to turn itself into Caucasian, would my life be better? I distinctly remember a string of similar memories. The dialogue is fuzzy, but they were definitely arguments with my mother. The atmosphere was heated. I could see her dark silhouette towering over me. Her eyes peering down, angry yet sorrowful, my eyes puffy and bloodshot. My cheeks hot and crimson. I stomped, I pouted, I yelled, "I'm American, Mom!" I'm American, Mom. The one constant that will stay with me forever. As I reflect upon these moments, I can't believe I had the nerve to say those words. I am ashamed of the way I treated my mom, but also myself. I forced her to listen to her only daughter, reject the beloved culture that morphed my mom into the amazing person she is today. And I deceived myself into a lingering illusion that my life was full with only half of myself. Why? What makes me more American than Asian? On paper, I seem American. However, my genetics prove I'm Asian. I have to choose one or the other, right? Why does it seem impossible to just embrace both? My defense has always been that both worlds are composed of varying elements. In other words, American society is built on fundamental expectations and ideologies that are contrary to those supporting Chinese society. I suppose I can say they're like oil and water. For example, my mother constantly reminds me that I should be grateful for the opportunities and particularly the monetary support I receive so easily. The piano lessons, violin lessons, karate and tennis classes, private art classes, one-on-one tutoring sessions, and not to mention the privilege of attending a boarding school. I came to realize quite young that these are blessings for me, but expectations for my brother. In school, my teachers preach equality for all, from races to sexualities to genders, yet that philosophy is not quite nurtured in my own home. It seems like sometimes, when I step one foot within the parameters of my home, I'm overpowered with the sexist inequalities. Historically, Chinese ideology states males are prioritized over females. From the ancient monarchies to the one-child policy, females have never been granted the same opportunities simply because the male is responsible for passing on the family name. This haphazard game of genetic roulette fortifies the glass ceiling that will forever limit my value within my Chinese world. Literally, it was a 50-50 chance. Okay, it is scientifically proven that the chances of becoming a boy are slightly higher, so I really struck out. Alas, I am a female, so my worth is decreased, and sometimes I feel like a second-class citizen. Luckily, my mother's generation has started to amend this philosophy, but it's daunting to wash away the influence of revered generations. I witness this every day. My maternal grandparents, who I love dearly, live in our house and are supported by my parents' income. They remind my mother constantly that their entire estate in China remains to be gifted in a golden bow to my uncle. Like, are you serious? My mother, who works tirelessly every day for more than 85 hours a week to come home to take care of her parents, all the while knowing that she is not important enough to be granted even a tiny part of their estate, all because she has 2 X chromosomes. To me, and maybe all of you, that's outrageous. However, because my mother was raised in China, it never occurs to her to complain. This was an established reality I refused to accept. My mom, thank goodness for her, raised me equal to my brother. I got the same opportunities, and quite possibly more, but these are blessings, because it's not within my mother's culture to spend as much effort or time in me than my brother. These influences of patriarchy are not so publicly announced in American society. Another major difference between these two worlds is their expectations for appearance. Let me reiterate that I love my mom, and she says everything and does everything out of love for me. But have you ever had your mom nag you about your figure? on the weekly or bi-weekly? Well, I grew up with my mom blatantly saying, Eda, you have such a beautiful face, but you're just a little too fat. I want my daughter to be beautiful all around, that's all. Now, I know this sounds horrible. In American society, it's like impossible to imagine your parents saying these words to you, but in Chinese culture, it's not. It's just the norm. There's just no censor to it. Let me just make one thing clear. I was taught in my American education to love myself and how I look. And I do. I love my flaws, my curves, my lack of ability to be athletic, and even my height. Okay, maybe that last one I'm not completely all right with, because I do wear at least 2-inch heels on the daily. My friends can attest to that. And I'm not actually this tall. I'm actually like this tall. But nonetheless, I love my hourglass shape. It's just not the stick-like tall Asian figure Asian culture expects of me. And as I talk with my Asian friends, it's eye-opening to see that they feel the same way, feel the same pressures. Now, I am resigned to the fact that this conflict will be a part of my world forever. However, I am optimistic small change will occur with each coming generation. Growing up, I believed living through each day was easier if I just picked one culture to associate with. So I took the easy way out and concealed the one I thought was simply more complicated, my Chinese side. But I learned, eventually, that just getting by every day with only half of myself wasn't living or surviving. It was just a way to pass the time until I became an adult. I thought adulthood would solve my problems, but that's not necessarily true. I know that now. I threw away precious time I can never get back due to my naiveness, but I refuse to give up anymore. Going forward, I have developed a new technique, a new way to live my life that merges my two conflicting cultures. Actually, maybe it's wrong to say conflicting cultures, just different ones. I will never get the perfect ratio of Chinese to American, and I'm just happy to live with the advantages of both. Hey, Mom. I am American, but I'm Chinese too. Thank you.